Lacey. I am a middle school ELA teacher, and we wanted to actually invite some special guests. We wanted to talk about some hot topics in education because I feel like it's being talked about a lot. So we're gonna go ahead and let our guests introduce themselves, and then we will dive right in.
My name is Miss Lanier, and I'm a 6th grade earth science teacher.
I'm Jasmine Smith, and I am an elementary school teacher.
I'm Tamara Waters, and I teach kindergarten.
Yeah. So I wanted to get other perspectives. Me and Celeste have planned this for a while because we're only 2 people. So I feel like since education is such a hot topic, we wanted to get some other perspectives and learn from other people. And of course, feel free to join the conversation in the comments. But we did want to start on a positive note and talk about why did we decide to become teachers or educators?
I became an educator. Well, first and foremost, I started taking education classes in high school, and it was just something that I always wanted to do. Even when I was younger, playing with my friends, I would want to be the teacher, playing with the friends. So, I just knew that's what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to be something or do something in education.
Same for me. I knew that I wanted to be a teacher early on. I was the oldest, and I would play school with my siblings. And when I went to college, I knew I was going to do elementary education, so I did that. I never chose any other thing to study. So yeah.
And I'm kind of the same way. I mean, I have a younger sister, and I used to always play teacher with her. And just like Celeste, I took courses in school that was based around education, and I just knew I just wanted to work with kids and influence them and impact them.
Same for me. I've always wanted to be a teacher. I thought at first I would want to do elementary, but when I got in high school and I was taking those ELA classes and reading those books and writing some things I was interested in, I decided that I wanted to do older kids. They already knew the foundational stuff. They already know the alphabet and how to write and stuff. So I wanted to be more creative with that. So I've pretty much always known.
Yes, my journey to teaching, I would say, will be a tad bit different from these ladies here. I actually didn't start off with an educational background. However, after doing my job research, I was kind of pulled in, and so far I've been enjoying it.
So, like I said, it's definitely a hot topic, and I feel like there's definitely a national teacher shortage. So we do kind of want to be real a little bit too. We talked about how we feel and why we did it, but we want to also have a conversation about why is there a shortage, why are teachers quitting left and right, because I feel like that's a problem. That happens all the time. Even people who are not teachers are aware of this. So we just wanted to have an honest conversation about what are some of the things that we face, because no one really understands unless you are a teacher. So we are going to get real and talk about that as well.
For me, I feel that it is the lack of support that educators get. And I'm talking about from both sides because it takes a village whenever you're working with kids. It takes a village, and I feel like the lack of support that educators get from parents, other educators, administration, it can be hard, and I feel like it makes it more challenging without the support. With support, I feel like educators are able to influence, impact, we feel motivated, we feel empowered, but without that, I feel like it's 10 times harder. Yeah.
And you were a teacher before, you were a counselor, so why do you think you made the switch?
So originally, whenever I started teaching, I started in 6th grade, and whenever I made the switch, I knew that there were students who needed more from me. I was thrown in with several different behavior problems, several different behavior issues, and I knew that it wasn't just a student that was struggling with their behavior, but other things like mental health things that were going on. And so I decided to study school counseling, and then whenever I was offered the position, my goal was to stay in the classroom a little bit longer, but whenever I was offered the position, I just went ahead and took it. But definitely I saw the need for mental health support. I saw that the students needed more than just a teacher for me. I spent a lot of time trying to support my students, trying to figure out why are they behaving this way, this day, and the next day behaving completely different. So I felt that I needed to study mental health to support their needs. So that's why I made the switch.
Do you feel like you're able to do that in your role? Because I feel like there's so many things that counselors do.
And originally I went in thinking, oh my God, yeah, I'm gonna make this completely change and support them. But it is challenging to try to balance that on top of doing like the daily task of a counselor, because you're thrown in, and yes, their emotional and anxiety and well-being is important to us, but every day looks different, and sometimes I'm not able to support them in that way because I have to do things to prepare them for college or scheduling things. So it's every day looks different. But originally I went in thinking, oh, it's gonna be yeah, I'm gonna support them this way. But school counseling is definitely more than just like supporting your students mental health wise. So
In my opinion, I feel like if I was ever to leave the classroom, it would be simply because I have difficulty with finding a balance. Traditionally, school is Monday through Friday from 7:45 to 3:45, but I do find myself still doing the job after 3:45. Sometimes my work days on the phone with parents of the teachers that are working on my team, or just speaking with administration. Sometimes those nights can end very late. Like I was speaking with the ladies, letting them know that I take parent phone calls up until 11 p.m. at night. And then on the weekends, I find myself planning, coming up with creative things for my students to do to take them to the next level with their scores and just their imagination, just their mindset, period. And it's very difficult to find that balance with my career and with my family at home. So I would most definitely say balance.
Yeah, that's hard. And I got married last summer, so I was a newlywed. I guess I still am, but I was a newlywed last school year, and I always tell him, like, I feel bad because I would come home so stressed out, and I would stay late because we work at the same school. She knows that I would stay very late because I was always stressed out, and I would get home. And I would get home, and I'd be so tired, and it was really hard for me to pour into my husband, and that was really hard for me. But this year, we're gonna both work on that.
You have to
Boundaries.
find the balance. You have to set them.
For me, it's probably just stress, overall stress. I am a perfectionist. I like to perfect things. So just trying to do that and having balance, putting in all of the time, like in the summers, like now, setting up my classroom and trying to prepare things for the school year so I'm not stressed. It's just the stressors that we deal with, testing, so it's not just one thing, but stress from all those different areas, parents, not enough, support. And it's not teaching. Like, I love teaching, I like creating lessons, I like working with my students, I love building relationships with my students, but it's just the stressors from different, parts of being an educator, so that's.
And I think I'm the same way. I just put so much pressure on myself. Like, I feel like I have to do this, I have to do that, and I think, and it's also with like boundaries. I need to set those boundaries. Like, I don't have to do all these transformations in my classroom. I don't have to do that, but I think it's hard. Like, I was the only Black teacher at my school, and that is incredibly hard, being the only Black person there and feeling like you have to. And I think some of that stuff is in my head that I feel like I have to do that, but just feeling like you have to make sure you're going over and beyond to prove that, that I deserve to be there. And I think that's where I just got to realize, like, I'm there and I just have to do what makes me happy, I guess.
That's true.
I agreed with you already, but I think for me, in my opinion, everything has changed in the world with technology. I feel like behavior is a big reason why some teachers leave. I feel like that's partly why I stayed so late, because during the day I would have a long to-do list and I thought I could get it done pretty much every day. I had false hope every day. I never learned. And then I would get nothing done. I couldn't do my lesson plan. I couldn't do anything because I was constantly repeating myself, and and that's really hard. Like, just repeating yourself and them not listening. It's very frustrating.
And then the planning time is
It's,
Yeah.
not
in your planning
existing.
time, you're not
Yes.
even planning, you're
Right.
doing
Meeting.
other
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
Parent-teacher conferences.
Yeah.
All those things.
And now I feel like education is just driven by data. We were talking about that earlier, and so that puts way more pressure on us trying to like meet this goal or whatever the goal is. So it's definitely challenging, especially when you're pouring so much into kids and you're trying your best, and then you get bad behaviors in return.
I get using data to drive instructions, I get that, but at some point, everything is not a data point. Like
Right.
everything is not.
Right.
So
There's way more than just, they're way more than just a number. Some of them don't even test well, but they have like an A in our class. So it's kind of like, which one really is more important, the data on the big test or the kind of questions that I'm asking in the classroom. But of course, we know what answer.
What they want.
Yeah, we know what really matters in the education world, but I don't know if that should change. But yeah, I feel like it's trendy. That's another hot topic. That would be a whole another conversation. But I do feel like it's more trendy to act out. Like kids, that's like the norm. When we were in middle school, feels like it was not that long ago, but it was a while ago. Like people didn't really want to get in trouble, and now people want to get in trouble. Like it's trendy. I feel like with social media, and there was like the bathroom trend, tearing up the bathrooms, like taking the teachers' belongings trends on TikTok. Like I don't know why or how they're started, but behavior like is definitely being influenced by TikTok and stuff like that. And
Do y'all
it's
think
trendy.
it changed like after the pandemic?
yes, 100%. 100%. Like the behavior prior to the pandemic, not saying that we didn't have any behaviors, but to now is 100% worse.
Yeah.
100% worse. It's, students don't understand authority. They feel like you can't even redirect students.
Yeah.
I see that like it's an issue just to redirect. You're not in trouble. Please just sit down. Small things that didn't seem like it was a big deal before the pandemic, but now it's an issue. And I know it's like mental illnesses and all those things, just being in a house all those days, sometimes alone, especially with our demographic of students in my district, so.
I agree with the COVID change. Did change the behavior in students, but I do think that it's a lack of respect now for teachers. I know when I was growing up, it was the teacher better not call me for absolutely nothing, and your temperature better be 101 before I come out to the school and get you. But now parents are knowing the issue before the issue even makes it to administration to get the call about what's going on in the class. They're out ready to confront the parents already at school because students have cell phones where they're able to give their parents a head up like, hey, this happened in the classroom. You'll be getting this call from administration. So I do think it does have something to do with COVID and mental health, but I do think it's just the respect level for teachers have just went down extremely.
For sure.
And I think for kindergarten, a lot of our kids don't know how to deal with emotions. So we're trying to teach them how to read, but also trying to teach them how to manage all of these emotions that they have. Because, you have a kid over here throwing a chair and we don't know why they're doing that, and they really don't either. So we're trying to teach them academics and trying to teach them how to handle these big emotions that they have. So
It's hard. We do way more than just teach.
Yeah.
People do not understand. We have so many hats that we wear.
I always like to say teachers are very good actors.
Yes,
that is
That's
very true.
basically our career. We're actors because the moment we walk in the building, it's like
Nothing else matters.
nothing. Everything has to be put aside. Whatever's happening at home, it has to stay at home. Like
if you're upset, you gotta
You-
play happy and teach the content.
It's hard.
it's hard.
It is hard. But all of that to say, we obviously all chose to stay, in education in the classroom. So, we're gonna end the video with this question. Why did you guys decide to still stay, even though there is a lot of, issues or a lot of reasons why people leave? So, why did you decide to stay?
For one, all of my degrees are in education.
We're not.
Ain't got no choice.
We're not.
We're locked in for life.
So I have all of my degrees are in education, but I really can't think of any other career that I would like to do. I love teaching. I love building relationships with my students. I love planning lessons, like all of that, all those things I love to do. But you know, I won't go into negatives anymore.
I think I'm the same way. Like, I love the relationship. I love the kids, and just seeing those moments of them learning something. I mean, you can't take that away.
Priceless.
It is.
Yeah, and I think kind of going off of that, like when you think about behavior problems or the students that cause behavior problems, it really is not that many. But it feels like, because they take over the classroom, it feels like we have, like our kids, they just all act out. Like, I feel like we use that word all and everybody, but it's just not like that. So like when you look at it realistically and you're like the sweet ones that come, give you a hug or like give you a cute little present that they made themselves and stuff like that. Like, there's a lot of sweet moments and it's hard to remember that. But when you look at it realistically, like, that is why I stay, because there are a lot of students who really do want to learn and want to be, sweet. And that is what I remember from school.
And I think that's what you have to do. Like, I have a notebook of everything my kids have made me. And so when you're going through something that's hard, like, pull that notebook out and look at all the sweet things that other past students have done, and it won't fix everything.
Keep you going.
It'll keep you going in that moment.
In this season in my life, I do feel like I love what I do, so that's pretty much keeping me in the classroom right now, but I do know that it is an end point. I just do not know when, but right now, a couple more years.
And I decided to say, I think pretty much y'all already said this, but because of the students, like, I really, really enjoy working with most of my students. And I realized, like, the impact that I can make on them, and I think that's what helps me to stay. And I love what I do. I love that, hey, I can help this student apply for college and they get accepted, and those happy moments help me to stay and push through.
Have them come back and visit.
Yes, I've been doing that a lot lately.
Those are the best.
I feel real old though.
Real old. Pull up to a restaurant and the is working the window. I'm like, oh my God, don't say Miss Lanier, I feel old.
My first group is going to 6th grade, and I'm like, how is that possible? My first group of kindergartners, they're starting middle school.
My first group there in college, and I get friend requests
Oh,
on Facebook.
Tell them it's still denied.
Right.
we tell them 18, so they take it
They
literally. They wait now. They be
I am very curious though.
I know it.
Yeah, that's gonna be it for today's video. We just wanted to talk about this and explain our opinions on it. Please join the conversation in the comments. We'd love to see what other people think, because we are just 5 people and there are a lot of different opinions. But please make sure you like, share, and definitely subscribe. Let us know if you want any more panel Q&A type videos like this. It's summer, so we have time to do this. No promises for doing this anytime soon. School is about to start, but please let us know and we will try to make something happen again. But we will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.
Bye.